From the outside, the world looks like it's going downhill. But what if on a deeper level, it's all falling apart so that it can come together in a whole new way? A new world is being born as we speak, and it's starting on an energetic level, on a playing field that we cannot see with our physical eyes. Listen in today as I talk about the vision I got on a new world and how we can hold that vision for generations to come. Welcome to another episode of Shattering Reality. I am your host, Sabrina Weibel, and on this podcast, we break through the common limitations of modern reality and expand your thinking as we delve into topics of quantum physics, spirituality, channeling, and much more. Nothing is off the table here as we work to uncover human behavior and the secret powers of the mind and universe through discussing esoteric and sometimes controversial topics. Let's get into today's episode. I want to take you back to the year of 2021. I was living in a house with my ex, who was my boyfriend at the time. And this was when I really started to open up to my intuition and hearing my intuition and detoxing my mind and my body so that I could listen to it more. At this time, I was doing really long silent meditations fairly often, maybe 4 times a week, doing like hour-plus long silent meditations that were incredible for me. And this was about the time that I started to get what I call visions. There's a difference between a visualization where you close your eyes and you visualize something that you would like to happen, and then a vision. I call it a vision when there is information given to me that I am not trying to get, I am not asking to get, I am not visualizing anything, I'm not trying to think of anything, and information just gets downloaded where I am either vividly like seeing in my mind's eye these images or movies that I'm being given, or in this case, completely channeling and writing down an entirely new way of living in the world and seeing the world. This is a new world vision that was given to me that I feel like deserves a spot on this podcast to share it. 2021, I'm listening to an Aaron Doughty podcast. If you don't know who Aaron Doughty is, he's pretty big on YouTube now, but he's all about expanding your consciousness and raising your vibration. And I was listening to a podcast episode of his, and I couldn't even tell you what he was talking about in the podcast, but I'm listening to it, and I feel this strong intuitive urge to shut the podcast off at that moment and write something down. Like it was something that took over my whole body that I felt like I couldn't argue against. And so I paused the podcast episode, and when I tell you, I did not walk down the hallway. I ran down the hallway to my bedroom and grabbed the first piece of paper that I could find. And I just started writing. I was writing page after page and wasn't even fully aware of what was coming through at the time. It was like my mind was kind of turned off and not there. And I was straight channeling something else like outside of me. Now, the exact details of what I was given, the exact words and the pages of what I was given, I don't even remember that well. I remember bits and pieces. And you know what? I tried to find that piece of paper afterwards, and I couldn't find it anywhere, which is so strange. And I feel like it wasn't the specific things that were said in the message that were particularly important, but more so the general message. The bits and pieces that I do remember was seeing this. It was like a whole new energy of a new world where we lived like harmonious with people. Like we lived like harmoniously with other people, helping people on the street. It was like we had deer crossings that people actually respected, and there was way more like greenery and nature. And it was like the roads were like built with nature as like the priority to respect. This was like the vibe of the channeling message that I had gotten. And I remember specifically too, there was this one scene, I'm writing and my mind is like not there, but I'm getting these flashes of images. And I remember specifically there was this one scene where it was like, it was showing me like the news channel, but it was like the news channel was not anything like our news channel that we have now. It was the news channel that was like, it was like speaking about things that genuinely positively impact the world. It was like on the quote unquote news channel was like how to recycle and what foods that you need to eat in order to get the nutrients that you need to live a long and healthy life. And this was the type of quote unquote news that everyone would be watching in the morning. And when I tell you this vision came with such a conviction in my heart, it came with such a conviction that we are headed into a new world. And soon after I wrote this, it was page after page that I wrote this down. I flipped back over the pages and I whispered them to myself under my breath so I could read what I had just written. Because like I said, my mind was not fully there when I was actually writing it down. And I read everything that I had written. And I just remember like feeling my whole body like being taken over. Like it felt so true. It felt like the truth of what we're stepping into. And I'm reading over it and I'm whispering it under my breath. And the second time I read it over, I write at the very end of it the words and the phrase, and so it is. And I write that and I whisper that under my breath, and so it is. And when I tell you, I did not hear one or two voices. I heard it had to have been at least like 5 to 8, maybe like up to 10, 14 voices all around me in my bedroom. Repeat after me, and so it is. My entire body lit up in full like chills as it is now as I'm retelling the story. I've only told this story to maybe 2 or 3 people, and any time that I had told it, same thing, full body chills, full, what is it my spiritual mentor says? She says like full like she says these goosebumps that we get are like truth goosebumps. And I truly believe that there are in the spiritual realm spirits who want us to see the potential that we're stepping into, that want us to step into this potential with conviction. When we go back to the law of attraction, just like the basic sciences of law of attraction, right? You get what you focus on. You get what you believe is true. You get what you have more emotion towards. And the more people that we have in our world who are really based in this state of fear, in the false narrative that the world is going to shit, that all people are bad, that the world is a very dangerous place. We might as well not bring kids into the world because it's such a dangerous place. Like I hear these stories, and the more people we have on that train, what is the overall like groups of people? What are the groups of people manifesting together? We're so powerful when we manifest together, right? The power of one person versus the power of two. The power of 2 people like exponentializes past 2 people manifesting different things by themselves. And so when there is that group intention of all thinking one way, it's a pretty powerful force. When you have a group of people thinking that the world is going to shit, that people are bad, there is more awareness on that. We're going to see more of that. We're going to manifest more of that, whether we want to or not, because that's what we're putting the emotions towards, because that's where we are putting the attention towards. Oh, another shooting, another stabbing, another killing, another political scandal, this like people trying to take advantage of us, more war, more starvation, right? It's awful what we see broadcasted all over TV and what we hear all around us. But we need to start getting together and intentionally and consciously deciding to step into this new world. Like, have you ever had those moments where it looks like everything in your life is falling apart, but then everything soon after that, like maybe a few months after that, you look back and things start unfolding for you, right? You get a new job, you get a new partner, you get all these new opportunities, and you look back and you're like, oh, I see why it needed to all fall apart. It broke apart so that it could rearrange itself into this new thing. What if all the chaos in the world, what if all the craziness, what if it's all bringing things to the light? Like, you know how darkness needs to be brought to the light to be shed? Like, these things that we're seeing, like, go down. What if these things were always there? Now it's just being brought to light so that it can be, like, uprooted and healed. What if behind the scenes, from a bird's eye view, everything is actually getting better? What if what looks like chaos is actually the universe or God rearranging everything to bring the darkness to light? What if it needs to look like doomsday before it becomes heaven on earth? And that is a message that I remember was directly being portrayed in the visions that I got and the channeled writing that I got. It was about heaven on earth. And I've been thinking about this a lot actually lately, about heaven and hell, and how we think that heaven and hell is a place that we go to when we die from this physical plane. But really, heaven and hell is what you live here on earth. You can either live in heaven if you trust in God, if you trust in the universe, if you trust in the bigger plan, if you have the faith, if you see the good, if you see the light, if you stand strong in your certainty, you get to live your heaven on earth. Things get to work out for you. Opportunities get to manifest for you. Love finds you. Success and abundance find you. But when you are shackled by fear, by the worries of what will happen, by the doubts if things will ever get better, those fears, like fear itself, is the devil. And that will cause you to live in hell here on earth from the workings of your own mind. And it's so important to keep your consciousness clear, to keep it focused on the trust, on the potentials. Even if you don't have any evidence of it right now, that's like the works of God. That's like the works of miracles, is to put your attention on like what is not even logically here yet. You know, like Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. Nobody could have ever logically said that could ever be possible. So why ever doubt the power of God? This is going to sound very contradicting, but stay with me here as I say it. Anytime that you see negative things happening in the world, instead of feeling yourself and your vessel like close and contract from fear, I want you to practice opening yourself up, opening your energy up, opening your heart up, and saying, thank you, God. Thank you, universe, whatever you believe in. I know that there is something good in this happening. I know that there is something good coming out of this war. I know that there is something good coming out of this starvation. I know, even if I don't logically know, even if I cannot possibly figure out any logical good thing, I'm going to trust beyond my logical senses and know that there is something good coming out of this shooting. There is some darkness being brought to light. And I'm going to surround myself with this bubble of trust and protection and love and knowing that the world is coming to a better place and that there are way more good people than there are with bad intentions. And the more people that we can get to harness this vision of the new world, the more people that we can get who stand strong within themselves and who do not shake and fall down when they witness what is going on in the world, and they can stand strong despite all of the craziness. These are the types of people that we need to continue to stand up. These are the types of people that we need to get together and hold this vision for the world, because it takes such a small percentage of people to make a big shift. The high vibrational emotions, if you read into more of the science behind vibrational energies, a book for that is Power versus Force, written by Dr. David Hawkins. He goes into how when you are vibrating at a higher frequency, it is exponentially more powerful than any of the lower frequencies. And even just two people raising their vibration, one person raising their vibration, it raises the vibration of the entire collective consciousness. And I don't remember the exact number or percentage, but it was like a decent amount. Versus when people fall off, like on the deep end, it lowers the collective consciousness, but only by a bit. One person can raise a consciousness with way more impact than when one person falls into a lower consciousness. Have this in mind when you have this intention for the new world, when the people around you are saying all of these negative comments and they're portraying that it's doomsday. You can stand strong and you can hold the vision, and you can get together with other people that hold the vision and pray for the world. And not only pray with I feel like a lot of people, when they pray, they come to praying with a lot of people have gotten to the habit. I'm going to go off on a side tangent for 2 seconds. Stay with me. A lot of people have gotten to the habit when they pray, they only pray when they have reached a point where they need outside help. And so it comes from this place of desperation. This is not a good place to pray from, because even in the Bible, it says you get what you pray for. And when you are coming out of a desperate energy, what is your energy saying? Your energy is saying, oh, it's not possible, or it's not working. To make your prayers the most powerful is to come from this place of strength, of certainty, of knowing God, the universe, is answering your prayers, knowing that as you pray, it is already done. Even if you don't see it with your eyes yet, it's already done. Have this certainty when you pray for yourself, for others, for the world. Get in that habit, and you will make a much bigger impact in your workings with this. I hope this episode inspired you in some way to hold the faith and to hold this positive vision for the world. Feel free to share this episode with anyone you feel may resonate with it or would want to hear it. Stay strong in these times, guys. Whoever is listening to this, stay strong, because there's this whole media thing of, constant bad news being pushed out. Not trying to put this out there, but I do feel like it's only going to get worse. And we're only going to need to build stronger and stronger people who can hold the vision through this and carry it through. That is all that I have to say for this episode. I hope you enjoy your day or evening or night whenever you're listening to this.